I believe the match is ready, so let's jump straight into the action. The first match between Pierre and Sajan. Storm against Affinity.
Handshake, beautiful handshake over there. We've seen Pierre winning every time on stream. We've seen Sajan winning every time on stream.
Yeah.
So someone has to lose. This is competitive magic.
Yeah.
There is going to be one winner because we're in the semifinals, sorry, in the quarterfinals, and the match is untimed.
Here we can take a quick look at the Affinity list of Sajan. Pretty typical stuff. You have the Pinnacle Emissary as one of the key cards in the deck that enables some of these busted openers with all the 0-mana artifacts. Weapon manufacturing works particularly well with engineered explosives. You also have Claws of Gigs that can sacrifice the artifacts and shoot the opponent.
Yeah, this is a new build of Affinity. 3 Tormod's Crypt, 4 engineered explosives. This deck is loaded with 0-mana card. Sajan wants to just open that Pinnacle Emissary, overload the board with drones, and just, you know, tap them all for a Kappa Cannoneer as early as turn 1.
How big of a problem is this for Pierre, who is on Storm, that his opponent has 3 main deck Tormod scripts?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Tormod Crypt is annoying because because Ruby Storm is a deck that wants to resolve Past in Flames and win the game with that. Although, if you do a critical amount of Storm, you can still go Wish and do something like empty the Warrens, or if you have Artist Talent, you can go to Chapter 3 and you can just cast a Grape Shot that's not too large. You don't need to deal 20 damage. You can do Storm equal 7 multiplied by 3, that's still 21 damage. So I'm sure Pierre has defeated Graveyard Hate before in his life with Storm. It is not that hard to play around. It's not like defeating Silence. It's not like, you know, Rule of Law.
Okay, yeah, this matchup is going to be a pretty typical race between an aggro deck and a combo deck. Whoever's on the play is going to have a big advantage. Both players are going to be trying to get, you know, find their turn 3, turn 4 kills. Sajan is going to be the one who might have a little bit of interaction, whereas Pierre is mostly just going to be goldfishing.
Pierre plays on turn 1 Elegant Parlor, which according to his player profile is the best card of the weekend.
Okay.
That's what he said. There's a couple of heroes hang out in his list, but I guess just going turn 1 Elegant Parlor is the best way. Oh, there it is. That's the most important card of the deck of Sajan Cherukad. The Pinnacle Emissary has been drawn.
All right, so this is how you have the most powerful starts with this deck. Emissary gets evoked, and now Sajan is casting all these 0-mana artifacts, and every time he does so, he gets to create a free 1/1 drone. And these artifacts sort of work as mana sources because there is a lot of cards with the keyword Affinity. Plus, you also have Urza Saga that pumps out really, really big tokens.
And you may have mentioned Improvise, which is kind of Affinity, it's just that you have to tap those things. So Sajan is going to play a turn 2 Kappa Cannoneer, but Pierre has shown us on stream that he can win the game.
There it is.
On turn number 3.
Yeah, I think Pierre also had that one lucky copy of Gemstone Caverns in one of the games that he won, where he was able to essentially steal being on the play with that card.
Okay, we're playing a Pithing Needle here. Pithing Needle is actually a good card. We can name the backside of Ral, which is Leyline Prodigy, and Pierre is not going to be able to -8 the Ral.
Okay.
But again, now there's no Tormod Crypt, so we can just...
Ral exclamation mark.
Yes, so you can just... wow, what a powerful start, by the way. Like, turn 2 Kappa Cannoneer with Disruption.
That's pretty good.
But Pierre...
I think Pierre is unbothered, really, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yes, so like, he can just go Ral, a bunch of rituals, Past in Flames, I win the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Although you can't win the game with Ral. Ral is like a very simple way to win the game. You just -8 and you win. All right, look at that. Sajan has had his like best start possible. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think it's the best start part of us. A Tormod Crypt.
Tormod Crypt way better. Yeah.
Like if he goes Pithing Needle and Tormod Crypt, then it is very hard.
This is just like the best start of his deck in general, but in this matchup, a Tormod Crypt might have been better. But here's the Ral. First, Pyretic Ritual gets cast. So that's going to be 3 red mana floating.
They're communicating. We've seen Pierre saying very, very clearly, whatever happens. Okay, no, they're just talking about Ral right now. We've seen on stream Pietro Ottolina roll 4 times the dice for Pierre to an odd. I don't know if you remember at the beginning of today.
It never flipped.
And he lost the game that way because Ral never flipped. Okay, so that's a mountain count. We are splicing onto the arcane. This is a mechanic as old as many players.
Yes.
As old as many players. Champions of Kamigawa. It's actually my first booster pack. You know that?
Really?
Izamaru Hound of Khan. That was the first card I opened back in 2004.
I opened Donate in my pack, and I'm like, why would I want to give my card to my opponent? What is this?
That's not that good. No, Izamaru made me go for mono white, so definitely a good pickup. So yeah, splice into the arcane, going from 3 to 6. Storm count goes up. Ral keeps on flipping, keeps on taking damage. And again, there's Pithing Needle, so I don't think, let me check, but I don't think Pierre has a way to deal with, I guess he does. Wish for Prismatic Ending. But anyway, look, let's go. Top 2 cards. Ooh, Past in Flames.
Yeah, this game might just be over.
This game might be over, but also there's no, like with Pithing Needle, there's no payoff. Like, Pierre can brick. Like, he can just flip like 10 cards like we've seen him doing earlier today and not find a wish. So the game is not over. Let's see, Valakut Awakening. Easy shuffling away. Sorry, is he discarding? Actually,
he's taking a bunch of damage.
Is he discarding this ritual to the Valakut Awakening? No, he chooses not to. So he just cycles this Valakut Awakening. Because Valakut Awakening says, discard X cards, draw as many cards +1. Sorry, not discard, put on the bottom. If it was discard, it would have been a lot better because you can then flash it back with Past in Flames, but it's put on the bottom.
Desperate Ritual ups the storm count to 6. There's red floating, still taking a bunch of damage.
You flipped 5 odds in a row. That's the same dice that he rolled before against Pietro.
Always comes up odd, right?
You should start doing even damage. He's thinking about where this Ruby Medallion should go. He is, I think that this Pithing Needle definitely saving Sajan. And Pierre is doubling the heartbeat of Sajan.
That is actually pretty wild. Sajan is completely unbothered. Yeah, it can go off, no problem. You know, I already secured my PT invite, so I'm not nervous anymore.
He doesn't even have to roll the dice. Pierre is literally doing everything. Yeah. So sometimes you like roll the dice, keep the mana in track and everything, but no, that's not what he is doing. So
man, I will say Sajan is impressively calm. Not cold. Calm is the word I was looking for. That is very impressive.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. All right. Okay, so Past in Flames has been flashbacked, and yes, I believe Pierre has bricked. Has officially bricked. It just revealed a ritual and another Ral.
Has he ran out of cards that can draw him more cards?
Maybe not.
That's
a Valakut Awakening.
The Awakening, right, yes, right. It's not all lost just yet, but
it doesn't have.
We're gonna need to. Yeah, we're gonna need some more help.
4 finally an even flip. So goes to 3 mana. He can spend 2 of them to put on the bottom that Ruby Medallion and draw 2 cards.
Another odd.
Imagine if you take so much damage that you're
just gonna die next turn.
Yeah, the opponent just goes make a construct, pump Kappa, attack you for 8, and I win. Anyway, draws 1, draws 2. Let's see what it is. Very important. These cards needs to be good. They are.
Wow, Rent's Resolve. That's good.
Yes, but there's not that much mana. I mean, okay, that Paretic Ritual cannot be flashbacked because it's been cast after the. See, rolling dice is so fun. I can't believe people want, take away this mechanic.
It's at 11 now.
Yeah.
Facing the Cannoneer, 2 drone tokens.
3.
Another odd, so it goes down to 10.
Okay, reveal the top 2.
This is, these are gonna have to be some good cards. Otherwise,
Manamorphose
is good.
1 redraw. All right, we're gonna go up to 3 red mana and drawing a card and flipping another dice.
Storm count is 13, so we're not even close to Grape Shot finishing the game off right away. Wow, 9 life.
Oh my god! Next roll loss is lethal next turn. If Pierre loses the die roll again, that's 8 damage on the other side. Oh!
Did he draw anything?
No, he drew a land. Okay, so Pierre can play both the ritual, flashback past in flames.
Okay, get enough mana to flush back the Manamorphose again.
He has to roll. He has to roll more dice.
He's got it. Yeah.
Okay, he goes to 4 mana. Goes to 4 mana. Pierre, okay, yeah. He's not gonna miss that. 5 mana, sorry, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. From 3 to 2, and then from 2 to 5.
Sajan still absolutely calm and collected. So Pass in Flames gets flashback.
So the thing with Ral is that usually it doesn't matter that you lose a bunch of dice because eventually you win 1 and then you -8 and you win the game. But the problem is that this.
That's just not going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another.
Okay, so this is officially it. If Pierre loses, like passes the turn, he's gonna die next turn to Kappa Cannoneer and the drones. Okay. Drawing a card. Okay, Glimpse the impossible. So we can go up to 4 mana with this Paratic Ritual.
Takes another one.
At this point, I don't think it. I mean, unless he loses 7 dice, but I don't think. Okay, Glimpse the Impossible goes down to 2 mana, 18 spells, so a Grape Shot is going to be lethal here, just if he draws Grape Shot. Okay, let's see. 4. Okay, so Glimpse the Impossible goes in the graveyard, backsided, because that means it can't be flashbacked from Past in Flames. The other 2 cards can. Let's see what it is.
Wow, 2 lands and a ritual. That's not great.
Okay, we still have a redraw from Vren's Resolve. So the combo turn isn't over yet.
We need a counter that would calculate his odds of, you know, still being able to win the game.
So Wish and Grape Shot win. I don't know which other cards win. Let's see. Top 2.
All right, one more redraw.
Manamorphose. So he gets 1 redraw. So from 1 mana, he goes to 2.
It's a lot of mana in Storm Count.
Storm Count is
out there, but
official enough. Draw 2, gets to 2 red. And if this is a land, the game is over. Ooh,
oh my god, another
the sweat. That's insane. All right. Sajad heartbeat is going down to 50, by the way. I don't know if that's a possible thing.
That is remarkable.
Maybe the watch is broken. Oh, Wish!
Okay.
That's it.
Do we have enough mana?
Yes, there's 2 ritual to be played. 3 ritual to be played. He found it. Pierre found it.
Okay, well, let me see it.
No.
Still needs to make sure he doesn't die to Ral as well in the process.
No, it's over. Yeah, that's 22 spells, so 23 spell Wish.
Storm Count is definitely big enough. 1 mana floating.
He dies, but the die roll.
Nothing happens.
Oh, we got Grape Shot, and wow.
Look at the Grape Shot.
Crazy.
There is the Grape Shot that gets discounted thanks to Ral. Last red mana used, and you're going to take 24 damage. Thank you very much.
And Ral dealt 14 damage to Pierre, but that was enough. You know, sometimes you have to sacrifice a lot of life total in exchange of a greater good of winning the game with Grape Shot. What a sweat was that game.
That was, there was a lot of last possible redraw happening. But yeah, Pierre was finally able to find the Wish and close out the game with the Grape Shot. Good stuff.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, Sajan did everything he could. He played Pithing Needle, played turn 2 Kappa Cannoneer. He had a turn 3 Clock, but that was not good enough because Pierre being on the play was the key. If Pierre was on the draw, probably he wouldn't win because, you know, the attack of Kappa would have just let the Ral kill you.
Any sideboarding action going on here? You mentioned that this is not a deck that wants to sideboard too much because you need a critical amount of cards to draw more cards, rituals, things like that. Prismatic Ending, wear and tear, anything else possibly?
Yeah, so I would definitely bring in wear tears, all copies of them. Prismatic Ending, maybe not all copies of them. It is important to kill Grafdigger's Cage because Grafdigger's Cage stops Past in Flames. You can also kill things like Pithing Needle or Tormod's Crypt, but I don't know if you want to do that much. You have Brothers Udand, which is a fantastic card.
Okay.
But it's also a very good 1-0 to pick up with your whip.
Exactly. With the, yeah, it's that's kind of interesting with how you want to approach the one-offs in the sideboard. This is not like your typical Saga deck where, you know, bringing some of those in might be okay.
We have, this is the main deck again. Has proven to be very, very good for Pierre with the Heroes Hangout, just a couple of Spider-Man cards. In this top 8, I guess, unfortunately, no Avatar cards. Do
we have any Avatar cards in the top 8?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Alexi Pulo was very close with his Yawgmoth deck, but lost a couple in a row. He was 10-1.
Okay.
I don't even know if he made it.
We have Storm, Titan, Jeskai Bling. Is there anything?
Yeah, so this tournament awarded 36 Pro Tour invite to the top 36, plus eventual passing down, like for example, Guillermo Lupi already being qualified meant that the 37th player got the invite at least, but maybe more, I don't know. So players like Piotr Gogowski are back on the Pro Tour. I mean, he's not on the top 8, but he made it to the top 36. And I see, you know, my friend Alessio Fedi made it back to the PT, which I'm also very proud of. So, you know, this tournament didn't just award 8 Pro Tour invite to the top 8 like the Spotlight Series, but it's a lot more. The Regional Championship are a much more important event because they award 36 Pro Point, and also I believe the total prize pool is $130,000 plus the foil Aerith to you know, part of the day 2, so that is again a very, very good prize pool overall, and these players are playing for the top.
If you are getting the competitive itch watching this live, there is a Spotlight Avatar tournament happening in Lyon, France on January 9th through 11th. So you can head over to my.finfinity.gg and you can take a look at what the calendar looks like, what are we going to be doing for the whole season. All the tournaments are there. You can already pre-register. As we mentioned, there is now also the qualifier for the limited championship that's going to happen in 2027, the all limited tournament with a $500,000 prize pool. I'm super excited for that one. And
if you're not a standard player, you can play limited on Sunday.
Exactly. And the other tournament I'm super excited for is the Team Limited Trios in Brussels. That's, I think, next June?
Yeah, it should be the week after
the Pro Tour
Magic Con Amsterdam. So if you're coming from everywhere around the world, you can come for the Magic Con and stay one more week in the beautiful country of the Netherlands. I guess Brussels is in Belgium, but you can say Netherlands as well.
Looks like
saying that Belgium is not beautiful. You know?
Belgium is beautiful.
That's where we are. Yesterday, I got to go to the Antwerp. But barring the fact that it was exactly 0 degrees, everything else is beautiful.
Yeah. All right, looks like the players are ready for game number 2. Sajan again on the play. Turn 1.
Much worse.
And nothing else.
Much worse turn 1 than the previous one. But he does have a copy of Damping Sphere in his hand. And Damping Sphere is very strong against Storm, who will bring in Prismatic Ending, will bring in Wear Tear to deal with it.
Okay.
So
Pierre also taking it slow with just a tap land on turn 1. It's not like he really has a lot of turn 1 plays anyway. I think Sajan is working on a mulligan. There's an Urza Saga, but this does not seem like an explosive hand. Obviously, he's pretty happy to see the Damping Sphere.
Yeah, so if he had a third land, this would be exciting, because you go turn 1, turn 2 Saga, and then next turn you just make Construct.
Okay.
But he's thinking about it.
I mean, can you really afford not to play
Damping Sphere?
The Damping Sphere here?
You can. Pierre is not going to kill you on turn 2.
Well,
he's not. Source,
he's done that before.
He's not. Source, trust me, bro. You know?
Trust me, bro. Yeah, he decides to go for the Saga, plays the Damping Sphere, and at least that's going to make him feel a little safer. Although his heart rate's about twice as high as it was in the previous game. Back to Pierre, who, does he have a turn 2 kill? Definitely not through the Damping Sphere.
No. And not only that, Pierre doesn't have access to a Cyber card to kill that Damping Sphere. So he's just going to cycle a bunch of Ren's Resolve, hoping to find a Wear Tear or a Prismatic Ending, because with that Damping Sphere in play, the deck cannot win.
Okay.
We've seen Pierre beating Graveyard 8. We certainly cannot see him beating Damping Sphere.
Back to Sajan, and does he find a third land? Is that a Mox Opal?
I think that's Pithing Needle. Those masterpieces are hard to see. Just like that 2 on the D6.
Man, he really needs some mana source here. No, I don't think that is one.
I mean, I think he has Kappa Cannoneer. That's like good enough. It's like there's the Dumping Sphere in play. That Dumping Sphere is going to buy so much time. Pierre has to dig and dig and dig to find a way to beat that card. Honestly, I can go Pithing Needle on Scalding Tarn. I think I like that.
Okay. Oh, he does have a third land. Never mind.
Oh, wow, he does have a third land. That's the Fiery Islet.
Yep.
As you can see from the glares.
Is that a Chalice of the Void?
No, I believe it's Pithing Needle because we.
That's Pithing Needle.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So Pithing Needle, Kappa Cannoneer. I think that's a good hand. I think that's a hand that's good enough. And now it's up to Pierre. He is the one that has to find an answer because what Sajan has to do, it's exactly like game 1. Just apply pressure. He also has Grafdigger's Cage that I'm sure sided it in.
Yeah.
Grafdigger's Cage stops Past in Flames.
Past in Flames, okay. What does Pierre have this turn? Plays that Scalding Tarn, Desperate Ritual. Might as well use it if it's going to go away at the end of the turn anyway. So, and let's see if he has anything to actually follow up with. He does have some more Rents results, I think.
We can see how he sided it as well. So yeah, we're here for sure. I mean, I'm playing as Affinity. Like, that's not a better target there. You can kill the Urza Saga and the Dumping Sphere.
So it's actually Engineered Explosives. That was the...
Yeah, the card in play is Engineered Explosives.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Surveil and the passing of the turn, because Pierre cannot cast anything else this turn. I guess that's not true. He can cast Reckless Impulse.
Yes, still 3 mana floating.
Yeah. But now, as no mana floating, didn't find his wear tear, has to pass the turn.
Yeah, the fact that he fetched the Parlor before playing the Reckless Impulse really tells you that he's looking for the sideboard cards to deal with this Dumping Sphere.
Tap 3, take a damage. With a Consecrate into play, untap. He also has the Boots in play, so drawing a land here lets him...
Yeah, that would actually be a pretty massive swing.
Keep the Boots. Oh, what also he can do is make a construct, get Mox Opal, and use Mox Opal to keep the
That's
Boots.
true.
And that is a very, very significant clock. But I would honestly just put more hate pieces in play first. I would put a Grafdigger's Cage, I would put a Pithing Needle, and then, you know...
Yeah, it's a...
Not necessarily,
It's a decision between, you know, how much can you improve your clock with that Damping Sphere already in play versus am I going to feel much safer if I have Damping Sphere and another piece of sideboard technology against your deck, right? If he can make it so that he has a 1-turn clock with the Damping Sphere in play, I would be pretty tempted to go for that.
It's just still hard because Pierre can go tap 2 mana, wear tear, tap 2 mana, exactly those 2 cards in play. Ritual, Ral, 1 mana floating, win the game. So I would play 1 additional hate piece.
Okay. Let's see what he decides to go for.
Grafdigger's Cage or Tormod's Crypt. I think Cage is a little bit better. I don't know, actually. That's not necessarily true. Because if you deal with Cage, I mean, if you deal with the Tormod's Crypt, you can then get rid of the graveyard.
And he does decide to go for the Grafdigger's Cage.
Like, if you get Tormod's Crypt and your opponent kills it, you can sack it in response and get some value. Whereas if they kill Grafdigger's Cage, you can't do anything in response. It makes sense to get your 1-drop because, well, if you draw a 0-drop, it's cheaper.
Is he letting the Saga go?
Yeah, he let the Saga go without floating mana, but without making a construct. Because I think he wants to play a threat, whether it is Kappa Cannoneer or extra protection, like a Pithing Needle. Let's see what we're doing here. I mean, Sajan is pondering his options. This is an important turn. We're in his main phase 1 with 1 mana floating. Ooh, what he can do is keep Kappa Cannoneer attack with it.
Does he have enough mana to do that?
Yeah, you can tap those first row, and I.
Oh, he has 1 mana floating, right? Yeah.
That doesn't. No, that doesn't make sense. Oh, yes, he can, because he has a floating mana.
He has a floating mana, yeah. I think he has exactly enough to be able to do that. Take 1 point of damage.
I mean, we've seen Pierre taking so much damage from the Ral that, like, every damage matters. So Kappa Cannoneer triggers, pump itself, and then it's going to become a 6/5 haste, attacking for a total of 12.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good turn. Now you have your opponent is down to 7. You have 2 cards in play, essentially making sure that you can't die.
Yeah, I mean, we've
Cage isn't, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen Pierre winning through Graveyard Hate last game. Well, that's not true. He won through Pithing Needle, not through Graveyard Hate. I'd say Graveyard Hate is stronger than Needle. But now Pierre still doesn't have the thing.
Yeah, I think that there's just nothing, right? There's nothing he can do if he can only cast 1 spell this turn.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember, Martin, and the people that were watching earlier today, Pierre lost the game because he flipped too many Prismatic Ending and just bricked and then died to prowess that game. But here we see him dying because he didn't find those Prismatic Ending. So it is very hard to balance how much you want to disrupt your combo deck by adding cyber cards versus you actually need to draw those cyber cards to beat the hate pieces to your deck.
Yeah, finding the real balance in how much you can afford to dilute your deck is certainly you know, a key in mastering the sideboard decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, for those who just tune in, those little numbers under a player's camera are the likes that people at home are voting. So right now, people are definitely voting for Sajan more than Pierre, who's, you know, climbing up.
Yeah, he's catching up pretty quickly, though.
Yeah, game 1.
Oh, wow, look, Pierre in the lead now.
Pierre was the fans' favorite, and Sajan was, you know, just 50 likes. Oh.
No, if you're actually just joining, these are heart rate monitors that the players can opt out of. So don't worry, we're not forcing people to do anything. The broadcast team just thought it was a cool idea to add something new, you know, like a new fun thing to the broadcast here. Pierre is still considering his options, but...
Yeah, so the reason why he's considering is that he can go land, splice onto the Arcane, go from 4 mana to
6, okay.
6, and then he can cast some Ritual and find those Wear Tear.
But the Rituals are not going to be super effective
exactly.
with the Damping Sphere in play.
Exactly. He's also thinking maybe you don't have any artifact, and this route keeps me alive. Like if your hand is exactly 2 lands and your top is a land, it's not lethal. But we know that it is lethal indeed.
Chet is asking where people can vote on the likes, and but
that could be an additional feature, you know, Funfinity. If you're watching, you can do, I don't know, some live rooting for the players.
Pierre decided that the best course of action was to just play Rawl and has the turn.
Any artifact to make the Kappa Cannoneer unblockable. We know that there's plenty of artifacts. Sajan is just playing around something, I guess. It could be a weird.
Yeah, I mean, it is an open decklist tournament. It is a good thing to, you know, run through your memory of your opponent's list. Do they have anything they can have here, or can I just easily attack? Yeah. But I mean, Sajan is in such a good position that it doesn't really matter, even if, you know, if this somehow goes wrong.
Yeah, the player on the play was able to win the game, leveraging the advantage of being on the play. Sure. This is a matchup where.
Welcome to Modern.
Yeah, but it's not just that. It's that this matchup, they don't have Force of Negation. So
that's true.
They don't have, I don't know, Endurance, Force of Vigor. Like, they don't have ways to interact with the opponent by being on the draw. So
John picks up game number 2, so we're all evened out here.
We're even out. Pierre will have the play.
Yeah, and that's huge.
There it is. We see players from Austria here with his fully foil deck versus the Master of Storm on the other side.
Are you a big fan of the expeditions and the special arts, or are you more of a old school kind of guy with give me the old borders and old art?
I'd say that I've been playing Magic for a long time. In my life, I've passed every phase a Magic player has. Okay. At the very beginning, I was a student, so I was trying to save you know, budget, and I was always getting the cheaper version of every card. And then, you know, the more I started winning, and the more I like to fold out my deck. And I've got my playset of Mox Opal Expedition at home that I've used a couple of times. I've got definitely a lot of those Expedition. Now I prefer, you know, to play my deck regular. I've got now, you know, so kind of. I've been every type of Magic player throughout my career of 20+ years playing the game. But
looks like the players are just about to finish their shuffling and mulliganing, but looks like Pierre is sending it back for a new hand.
yeah, Pierre doesn't need too much to keep a hand. He needs 2 lands, and that is usually enough because, well, you have so many cantrips. You have, you know, 10 of these cards that just look for other cards, but you do need those 2 lands. That is just a requirement. You can't keep a hand with 1 land. I mean, maybe you can on 6 or 5 cards, but definitely not on 7. Whereas Pierre needs a lot more. Pierre doesn't just need lands and spells. He needs to have a strong start. He needs to have interaction. He can mulligan. He can afford to mulligan down because without that turn 1 Pinnacle Emissary, without that Dumping Sphere, it's going to be hard for his deck to fight the powerful combo deck that is Storm.
We were previously looking at the bracket. We have Storm against Izzet Affinity. We have Amulet Titan Mirror. We have Jeskai Blink playing against Boros Energy, and then we have Boros Energy playing against Izzet Prowess. Who's your favorite?
My favorite to win the tournament is Guglielmo Lupi. Oh, we already won. Yes, he's the...
Wow, so he's still undefeated.
Yeah, he is the most accomplished player in this top 8. He had just won Worlds. He won
Worlds already.
and
Nice.
qualified to Worlds. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
But he also did very well at the regional championship in Bologna. He, I believe, qualified to the Pro Tour through that. So definitely on a tear of very good results.
That's great. Yeah. Is he a big modern player? Big online player?
He's the one that invented the Omniscience deck that eventually got banned.
Really?
Yes. I've seen, you know, Italian posting about the Omniscience combo deck so early in the standard format, and then now Abuelo's Awakening is banned. But he's the one, and his team Treccani, who like developed the deck.
That's awesome.
From the beginning.
So is he your favorite to take down the top 8 here?
He is. He's playing what many people qualifies as the best deck in the format. I think Amulet Titan is quite happy to play both against the Jeskai Blink and the Boros Energy, and then, you know, so we only have 1 Amulet Titan in the top 4 because that was just bound to happen, as there was a mirror match of Italians playing Amulet.
Wow, Pierre still shuffling. That's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign. Either he's really wanted to shuffle his deck very much, or he's mulligan into 5.
I love the meme where somebody says, yeah, if my opponent mulligans, you know, to 6, okay, to 5, yeah, tough luck, to 4, oh my god, you're playing Tron?
Yeah, or Dredge in maybe older formats. But yeah, let's see.
How many cards does Pierre get to work with?
You start with 7. That's the
true.
rules of the London Mulligan.
I love the London Mulligan, by the way. I think that made like the game so much better. It made mulliganing so much easier. It's not as hard on you if you mull to 6 or 5. And let's see how many cards Pierre gets to work with, actually. He's putting...
At least 1 card down.
No, that's 2. That's 3. Oh my god, that's a mull to 4. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have the Tron lens to get out of this. And this is a deck that really needs the extra resources, right? You do need just 2 or 3 lands, but you really need all the rituals and all the reckless impulses and ways to draw and see more cards. So he ends up keeping 1 land, Ral, Ritual, and I didn't quite see the 4th card. Sending this on the bottom. I do like keeping 1 land. You can fetch the Parlor. That's gonna let you take a peek at an extra card to hopefully make that 2nd land drop. But yeah, this is not ideal.
Galvanic Blast remained in the deck post sideboard. I'm surprised by that.
Oh, and just land and pass from Sajan.
Actually, that came in from the sideboard. Very surprised to see Galvanic Blast. A blast from the past.
Blast from the past.
It's a card that a powerhouse in Pauper. 1 mana 4 damage very easily with Great Furnace. In this format, Great Furnace is not legal. But you can achieve Metacraft quite easily thanks to Mox Opal and such.
Yeah, thanks to all the 50 artifacts or so in your deck.
you don't need to play zeros on turn 1. You want to just low roll them in case you top deck a Pinnacle of Mistake.
That's true. That's a good point. So Pierre does fetch the Elegant Parlor, and that actually allows him to find a second land. So despite the rough start, he still managed to, you know, get a 2-drop into play on turn 2. Raul makes an appearance, and will Sajan find enough artifacts to get Metalcraft for the Galvanic Blast?
The hand looks very colorless on the left side. I see a Tormod's Crypt. I see a Mountain. I don't know if he had a land.
Oh, there's a Damping Sphere as well.
Land.
This is not looking good for Pierre.
Okay. The Tormod's Crypt. Does he also have Mox Opal? He does not. Because otherwise you can go Tormod's Crypt, Mox Opal, Damping Sphere, in your upkeep, Galvanic Blast, the Raul, but we don't have that.
Yeah, plays the Damping Sphere and passes the turn. So Raul gets to live for a turn, but with 3 cards in hand and Damping Sphere on the table, it is extremely unlikely for Pierre to be able to really do anything.
I mean, without Damping Sphere, Pierre could have gone off this turn, but not like this. But Raul helps a little bit. Start flipping, start rolling.
Rent's Resolve is the play.
No, he chose to go even. He always goes odd.
Never change.
Never change. Flip 2 cards. Is there a land? There isn't.
Yeah, he's looking for land drops here.
Those cards are not good. Maybe that would have been good if the Damping Sphere wasn't there. He could have actually gone off and won the game.
That would have been super impressive.
Even on a I guess no, there's a Tormod's Crypt in play. Double hate piece from Sajan, who turned from Affinity to Wear Prison.
I think he picked up a copy of Memnite, so that's at least going to give him Metalcraft.
A very nice copy of Memnite. Does he have Kappa Cannoneer? He actually can't cast it. He can't go Memnite Kappa because it costs 1 more. Damping Sphere, of course, counts for both players. We'll see. We definitely want to go Galvanic Blast this turn. So he's going to go Memnite and then Galvanic Blast for 2 mana.
I think Pierre is notifying him that perhaps you're holding your hand a little too low. I might be able to see the cards. That's pretty nice of him.
I think that was better because that way we would have been able to see.
We would have been able to see more. Yeah,
so Pierre, please don't do that anymore. Actually, if you want to flip your hand, it's ooh.
That Memnite looks like it's coming out of the table.
It does. It looks like it's 3-dimensional. That's crazy. Well,
so
honestly, Martin, that's a good idea. WotC should do cards that come out of the table.
3D cards?
3D cards.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. You just unsleeve them and they come out of the cards. Like that could be a new idea. Did he just pass?
Yeah.
What are those 2 blue cards in?
I think those might be sinking to stupors. I think he might be holding on to having interaction basically.
Yeah.
That Raul certainly is not as threatening when there's Damping Sphere in play. So I don't think Sajan is in any danger of losing, or probably not feeling too stressed out right now.
No, and I mean, it's such a slower pace of game that we've seen the previous one. The previous one we see Kappa Cannoneer come down on turn 2 or 3, and now nothing. Rough flips. And it can actually kill Memnite.
Once the die roll happens, you can no longer respond.
You can no longer respond, but what you can do is you cannot respond now and bounce the Raul flipped. Because there's a spell on the stack. Raul is flipped into play with a spell on the stack.
So what is he going to use? He goes for the Galvanic Blast here. Deals with the Raul.
He wanted to wait those Raul flips because if he keeps on losing life, that's just free damage.
Okay. Pierre uses the mana to play Ruby Medallion. 2 cards left. Past in Flames is not going to be able to do much here, so that goes into exile. That's actually pretty important.
Definitely. And we're in tap, and there's still no threats. Oh, Thoughtcast.
Thoughtcast.
That's not bad. 2 mana draw 2.
Maybe it's Thoughtcast, actually, the rest of his hand.
He's playing 3 Thoughtcasts total.
It is. He does have 3 Thoughtcasts. That's also not great with the Damping Sphere and not enough artifacts.
Well,
except 2 more lands.
Better than thinking to stupor.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. A lot better than that.
Play basic mountain as a land for turn, so no Urza Saga yet. He can't go for Thoughtcast because that would cost 3. And Sajan knows his cards, so passes the turn. It's such a slow pace of play. 1 mana, draw 2. Sorry, draw 1, get 2 mana.
Yeah, Pierre at least needs to dig deeper into his deck to try to find those cards that remove Damping Sphere before he can even think about going off.
2 mana, Vren's Resolve. Now the next spell will have a tax of 2. Yeah.
Oh, it's a second Past in Flames?
Second Past in Flames, there's 3.
That's not great if that gets exiled.
Pierre can't cast any spells, so passes the turn, man. That Damping Sphere has done such a good job. All right.
Back to Sajan.
Let's see. Oh, we finally find a creature.
But I don't think he has enough artifacts to really take advantage of that. He's going to need to keep playing these awkward Thoughtcasts.
Yeah, the best card that Pierre has to draw, but we don't know if he cited that in or not, is Brothers Would End.
Yeah. Oh my God, that'd be, yeah.
That would kill every non-land permanent into play, even the Ruby Medallion.
So John decides to develop by just casting the Emissary and passing. But Pierre is not really finding what he's looking for.
Yeah, Pierre now can go 1 mana Ral, 1 mana Metamorphose. But the Pinnacle Emissary aren't casted. Yeah, the Mem Knight should probably attack. But it's a very pacifist Mem Knight. It's basically an Ornithopter right here.
It's a mana source.
It's
sort of.
It's pretty to look at
discounter
from this point of view.
It's basically Pierre has Raul and Ruby Medallion, and Sajan has a Mem Knight.
Yes,
they all kind of discount your cards.
That's true. Okay, so we go Ral, we go Metamorphose, we flip a die. Let's see if he's gonna choose odd or even. He took a damage, he changed again.
He changed, so nothing happens. Takes 1.
Draw a card for Metamorphose.
He found a 3rd land, but
No.
doesn't really do a whole lot.
This turn can't do anything. There's only 3 mana floating, so the Past in Flames gets exiled.
Both of the Past in Flames now.
There's 3. There's 3.
Are there 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. There's 3. Okay.
Okay, so draw step. That looks like Pithing Needle. So we're gonna needle the backside of Ral, making a drone.
So John really needs to start cashing in those Thoughtcasts.
Yeah, so the Thoughtcast will have a discount.
How does that work, actually?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's gonna pay 1 blue, because the mana cost raises for Damping Sphere reasons and then lowers for Affinity.
Okay.
If it was a Trinisphere that is explicitly written, then it's different.
Okay.
That's how I would say. I'll see if Twitch chat wants to correct me, but I believe that Sajan only needs to spend 1 mana. He also needs to put a drone into play. Playing Paper Magic, you have to remind your own trigger. Does he have a drone? He looks too calm to me. He didn't get the drone ready. Okay, now there it is. It does not forget the drone triggers. We're naming the backside of Ral again, Leyline Prodigy, and now Thoughtcast is discounted of 6, so the total cost will be 6, so he can only needs to play 1 blue. Yeah, Needle is a good card in this matchup. Nadim the backside of Ral is nice. I would definitely keep that in post sideboard.
So, Thoughtcast is indeed the play. Pierre confirming, yep, I am aware of how this works. I like how both players are using the die to represent how many cards have been cast in that turn.
Yep. Now we can keep on going. He wants to draw Urza's Saga, so he can tap 1 mana to play Thoughtcast again. He hasn't played land for turn. No, you haven't played land for turn. Last turn you had 4, I think. Think I'm wrong?
I think that's what he's just asking the judge right now. Have I made a land drop?
Exactly, because if he has made a land drop, then he wants. If he hasn't made a land drop, then he wants to go Thoughtcast.
Yeah, but this is not something that, you know, observers or judges are usually keeping track of. I mean, Magic is such a complicated game. There's so many things happening and so many card interactions that this would not be one of the things that I would know.
He cracked the Fiery Islet. Last turn, I believe he tapped out. Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? Exactly. I think we're just gonna go on a little bit of a break here with the two of us, and meanwhile the judges and the players are gonna be able to figure it out. But yeah, I think he had 4 lands last turn. It's good to ask. It's better to ask before you play that land instead of just playing it and then realizing, oh, I played 2 lands in a turn. What are we gonna do now?
Yeah, I think he hasn't played a land yet. But anyway, I've seen Amulet players have like a thing that is like land drop. Like they just put it on the battlefield so they remember they made a land drop. Because, you know, warnings can accumulate if you make these mistakes over and over.
It's funny that they're basically keeping track of everything. They're keeping track of how many cards have been played, what can be played this turn, next turn, mana, storm count. But the only thing that we don't know is how many lands have you actually played.
Paper Magic is a lot harder to play than the digital game. That, you know, if you can click on a land, you can cast it. But yeah, so this was the top 8. This is the top 80. That match hasn't finished yet. We've seen Guglielmo Lupi winning the mirror match of Amulet Titan.
Maybe we can put the graphics on the screen with the updated games in the other quarterfinal tables.
We will see Boros versus Prowess later, and on the future match, sorry, it's not on future matches, on the other tables, Jeskai, Blink versus versus Boros are playing. So those are the decks that we're going to see today. Again, a super diverse top 8. Most notably, no Eldrazi's.
Yeah, there was not a lot of Eldrazi to begin with.
Well, 9th place we got Eldrazi Broodskill. That was my pick for the winner of the tournament, Eldrazi Broodskill, and he got 9th, unfortunately.
I'm still live for my pick, which was Blue-Red Prowess. Oh no, that was the pick that I would have played. So my pick was for winning the tournament. Amulet Titan, so I'm still live.
Still live.
And I would have picked Blue-Red Prowess just because it's like a fun deck to play. It's pretty fast, and yeah, there's a lot of play to it. But it looks like the players have finally figured out whether he made the land drop or not, and we can continue.
I think they said he didn't make it, but I'm pretty sure he didn't make it. Anyway, continue. I don't think it will matter too much.
Valakut's Awakening, that's another way to possibly see a lot more cards for Pierre.
That card draws 3. It's good. It's a good draw. It's definitely, because like Pierre now has so much hate to go through. Maybe like
not a lot of time. He's at 11.
Brothers Udend is the only card that can get Pierre out of this.
Yeah, I think it's pretty simple. You just need to ditch your hand and just hope to see Brotherhood's End at the top of your deck.
But maybe he didn't side it in.
Well, he passed. I
mean, Brothers Udend is a singleton, you know, tool for your wish, so you may not side that in.
Oh, you're right. It was just one for the wish. You're right.
Okay, so Sajan untapped. He has not made a land for turn. Let's just make it clear. And we see a second Tormod's Crypt. Fiery Islet, so still no Urza Saga. Those Urza Saga are on strike. You know, just tomorrow there's a strike of trains here in Belgium.
That's actually a great point. We need to figure out how we get to the airport tomorrow.
Yeah, so the taxis are not on strike. Anyway, we're too close to France. You know, whenever you're close to France, the strikes are always a possibility. Kappa Cannoneer is here, and he's got the counter. That card is written in a very funny way. I'd say, you know, when you cast your card, triggering the ATB of your own card to put a counter.
That's strange, yeah.
It was not intuitive, so you have to remind it. I remember when this card came out in the commander deck of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, I just played that deck at a Legacy 4 season. And I was able to go undefeated with that deck. Nobody knew what was going on. People tried to Swords to Plowshare forward 4, and it was just a blast to play 8-cast at that tournament. Definitely a pet deck of mine in Legacy. But then they just unbanned Moxopol, reprinted Kappa Cannoneer, you know, and that deck is not that different in Modern.
Man, shout out to the 4 seasons and Eternal Weekends and all these tournaments where we can still play Vintage and Legacy, because those are 2 awesome formats, and I wish there would be more of that.
It's actually actually happening next weekend in Lucca. I'm super excited, super thrilled about that. You know, WotC, of course, supporting vintage and legacy.
That's awesome.
At least once a year with very cool promos. We have Tendrils entering the sphere this year. Very excited by that. This time, at this Pro Tour, the promo is a card from Final Fantasy. Can't remember the name exactly, but it's a nice one. Oh,
okay, Wear and Tear.
Finally, Wear and Tear was drawn.
Now we're talking. So Delicate's Awakening.
Costs only 1 mana because of the discount of Ral and
Ruby Medallion. Yeah. I think Pierre is doing that still at instant speed.
Yeah, and he ditches every card except one. Can you guess what it is?
I think he actually kept 2.
I think he...
Yeah, I think he kept...
Oh, kept 2.
He only put 1.
Wow.
Oh, wow, another one.
Okay.
So now we're talking. There's, unfortunately for him, there's 2 copies of Tormod script. There is...
But not just that, there's also 11 damage on play on the other side. So if Pierre doesn't win the game this turn, he loses this turn.
So it is now or never. Question is, now that you ditched a lot of the rituals, are you going to have enough to go off?
Yeah.
I would be very impressed if Pierre won this game. Through a multi-4 Damping Sphere, a bunch of Tormod scripts in play, that would be very, very impressive.
Okay, we are tapping 1 mana to use the Wear side targeting Damping Sphere. Sajan has 3 cards in hand, but I believe he doesn't have stack interaction. He doesn't play any copy of... 1 copy of Metallic Rebuke, wow. Let's see if he has that card in hand. Sink into Stupor. This can be Sink into Stupor. It is. I think it is. If you have Metallic Rebuke, you certainly tap your permanents. Sink into Stupor, bounce. And now that card costs 3, but with the 2 discount, Pierre only needs to tap a land again. So...
I wonder if there was any consideration to maybe bouncing the Ruby Medallion.
Maybe that was the better play. He did kind of play this. Yeah. So one red mana. Again, the tear. What's the word? Where costs are right now 2 and a red. The 2 discounts. Oh, actually, Pierre is saying I forgot to flip Ral. Actually, I think he forgot to flip Ral for Valakut Awakening as well. So he should have flipped Ral some additional time. He's apologizing to his opponent, and he's now flipping twice. I believe that is the fix. Or
no, I think they said the 1 trigger can still be on the stack as you're playing an instant. So they resolved that one. Now, Where is resolving, destroying the Damping Sphere, but that taps Pierre out.
Yes, so there are 2 copies of Tormod script. Pierre has a Wish in his hand. Sajan is at 17.
There's no way he gets through all of this stuff in play. I would be so impressed. What does he even have? He has a land, he has a ritual. Oh, he has a Wish as well. So he doesn't really need to go off. He just needs to fire off that Wish and pick up that Brotherhood's End.
Well, Brotherhood's End does not kill Kappa Cannon.
That's true. But it would be a start.
Pyretic Ritual brings him to 4. Ral, even if it flips, it doesn't work because of Pitting Needle. So, strong count 4, mana in pool 3. What's the rest of the hand for Pierre? He has a Wish and a Wear Tear. I mean, I don't see a way where Pierre gets out of this. I mean, he can go Brotherhood End this turn.
Yeah, if he plays Brotherhood End, that may buy him an extra turn, but the problem is he basically uses his entire hand.
And you destroy Ruby Medallion as well. So you untap with Ral,
you would
Wear an End, and no graveyard.
Yeah, you would basically need like 15 perfect cards at the top of your deck in a specific order to go off after that.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's taking a sideboard.
Yeah, both the Ral and the Ruby Medallion helped discount that Wear Tear 2 times. So the players have been very careful about it. You can see the Hero's Hangout was sighted out. as well as the Past in Flames. So as you mentioned, there's
Okay, all of them are gone. There's only one in the. Okay.
Oh, no, that's not true though. There's one.
No, I think it's 3+1 actually. Yeah, there's one in the sideboard for the wish package.
But I don't think that's gonna matter. I have a very hard time believing that Pierre can get out of this.
What other options does he have? Is he thinking of possibly going for something like empty the Warrens?
Have you seen Brothers of End in this sideboard, or did you set it in?
Good question. I believe it should still probably be there, but we'll find out.
I think it's in the deck somewhere. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be.
It might actually be in the deck, yeah.
You can see the timer up there. 61 minutes have passed. This match is untimed.
It's yeah, it's been a long turn. It's been a long couple of turns.
Let's say if this was a maybe a real tournament, not a real in the Swiss, in the real tournament, in the Swiss, they would have played faster, I'm sure. These two decks are not usually going to time.
Yeah, even if we went to time here, really, the 5 extra turns would have been enough.
What are the decks that are in top 8? You can check it out on the Affinity page or also on my Twitter page. I tweeted that earlier before. But yeah, it's 2 Amulet Titan, 2 Boros, and then we have a copy of Jeskai Blink, Storm, Affinity, Prowess.
You can actually already check all the deck lists, because this was a tournament with open deck lists. All of that can be found on MTG Melee.
If you go
RC in the Ultimate Guard Live Twitch chat, you're going to be able to find the link that way.
So he ends up going for Hero's Hangout from the Wish, revealing 2 cards.
Where gets rid of Pithing Needle.
Ralph flips. Oh wow! Wait a second. Wait a second. Did he just find a way? He. What's that number? 8. Oh my God. So
wait.
He was able to go Hero's Hangout, ability on the stack, Wear Tear, kill the Pithing Needle, and then the Ral flips. And now he's able to go, well, you resolve Hero's Hangout, you exile the spell, because I think I don't know if he played land or not. And now you can -8 Ral, and you can cast every spell for free. So if he finds Grape Shot, he may actually win the game.
Okay. Now we're cooking.
This game is not over. We were talking like if the game was over, but the game is not over. -8 overall. Oh my God. Pierre sees the line. If Sajan would have held that Sink into Stupor, maybe there was a window to bounce Ralph flipped. I don't know though. I don't know. The Sink into Stupor was definitely the most important play of the turn from Sajan. And now we're revealing 8 cards.
Okay.
These cards are played for free. For free. Free.
Ren's Resolve, that's good. Metamorphose is really good.
Pierre mulligan to 4 this game.
Valakut's Awakening and another Reckless Impulse.
Oh my God.
I think he already played a land though.
He played a land.
But with that Metamorphose, that's fine, because Metamorphose is going to be able to start the ritual chain in case he finds more of those.
He's saying, I don't care about the graveyard, you have a Tormod script in play anyway. Draw from from Ren's Resolve. It reveals a Pyretic Ritual. And now keeps on casting those rituals. Oh my God.
Are we sliding the advantage bar over to Pierre's side now?
Can't believe.
I mean, that's a lot of cards he's going to be able to look at.
I can't believe he's winning this.
There's no way he wins from a Multi-4 through all this.
Multi-4. But the thing is that Sajan never put pressure, never drew Saga, never drew Kappa Cannoneer up until last turn.
Finds a Ruby Medallion and a Ren's Resolve.
Yeah, so now he's going to play the Valkyrie Awakening.
Just to draw a card.
Put on the bottom the Ruby Medallion.
Oh, draw 2 cards. Okay. It's a Reckless Impulse and a Ritual. I mean, he does need to find a Grape Shot and play enough spells, but I think we're getting pretty close to that territory already.
Yeah, I mean, he just needs 17 spells. It's not that unlikely. It happened in the previous turn.
So the crypts are not actually that impactful.
Previous game, I mean. You can also just go Empty Warrens doesn't do anything. He actually needs to win through Grape Shot. Okay, he didn't flip that much mana. He didn't even draw that well. All right, I guess he drew well from cards in hand, but not from the Reckless Impulse. Okay.
Storm count is 14, 15?
He has to remove a
just
mana.
needs to find a Grape Shot. Is it on the top? No, it's a Ral and Pyretic Ritual. Does he have any more redraws now?
He can play Ral and then do -8 again.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he's doing. 1 mana Ral.
What a crazy turn. Storm count is 16.
Play
17.
Ritual.
So now we're officially in the Grape Shot is lethal territory.
He goes to 0 mana, but then goes up to 3. 7. He always chooses odd, so...
There's so much to keep track of. So Raw gets flipped.
It's on 17. No, wait, what does it mean 7? Isn't Ral supposed to be... Yeah, a lot of... Okay, oh, he was on 16. He was on 16.
Okay.
Ral. So it goes to minus...
We take a look at 8 new card. I mean, this has to be it, right? At this point, you're not going to break.
Okay, glimpse of the impossible.
Double glimpse. There's a Grape Shot. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Did he really?
Wow.
What is going on?
Pierre Liebsch from Germany.
This is the most insane turn of Magic I've seen in a really, really long time.
Started the turn with Dumping Sphere, Pithing Needle, just...
Even Pierre can't believe it. He's like,
Not that
what just
much.
happened?